What's up everybody, welcome back to The Contrarian. This might be one of the most important videos I make this year, even though it has somewhat of a different a direction to it than most of the other videos I make, in that this one I deal with a little bit more uncertainty as the other ones I make, although it's definitely more pertinent to the side of the markets and has to do with the Fed quite significantly. So basically, in the last couple of days, the media, social media especially, has been going ape over this new thing called monkeypox. And monkeypox essentially isn't a new disease. It's been around. It's discovered back in the 1970s. The first case of human known case was back in the 1970s. It still has gone on since then, but all of a sudden the media is beginning to go bananas with, pardon all of the puns, but they're going bananas with all of these supposed new cases of monkeypox around the world, and now in Europe, now in the US, etc. So a lot of this very closely resembles what was first going on when COVID first started coming out. It was this new, very deadly disease. Supposedly we were told it was very deadly. The media just hammered it down our throats like no one's business. I can't think of any other thing hardly that they focused more on than COVID. And also, a very other important thing with COVID is the effect that it had on central bank policy. Central banks essentially used it as a giant curtain behind which to hide the continuation of massive quantitative easing, also known as printing money, to essentially keep propping up asset prices in this everything bubble. And obviously the effects of COVID and the stimulus from COVID are wearing off heavily. The central banks around the world have said that they will tighten, that they will decrease asset purchases, and the Fed hasn't even started tightening yet. They've only started decreasing their asset purchases, and yet the stock market is practically in a bear market already, just after 2 rate hikes and the Fed not even tightening yet. So the Fed knows that they are completely trapped. The Fed knows that they cannot actually follow through with their plan without collapsing the entire system, which they do not want to do. This would make them extremely unpopular. It would basically cause extreme societal unrest. If the stock market were to actually collapse 90+%, which is what would happen if the Fed were to actually decrease their balance sheet and tighten as much as they are projecting that they will. So what I'm saying is that the Fed really has no choice but to not follow through with the aggressive stance that they've taken in the last few months that they put forward. The Fed needs a massive excuse, a massive new crisis to come up in order to use as a curtain behind which they can continue to do quantitative easing. So without even talking about monkeypox in particular, I'm painting a picture by which the Fed really needs something to use as an excuse, and they have not had this for the last few months. COVID is really waning. People don't care about COVID as much anymore. There's vaccines. People, there's better therapies now for COVID. People are not near as afraid of it as they were, broadly speaking. So the Fed needs a new excuse, and this new excuse for perhaps more lockdowns, definitely more stimulus, could be something like monkeypox. And I know it sounds a bit absurd at this point, but just based off of how crazy the media is going on monkeypox, the very visual and somewhat disturbing images they're showing almost non-stop in the last few days of monkeypox, it leads me to believe that this could be somewhat of the next agenda of the Fed or of the central banks around the world, frankly, to use this as an excuse. And it does not help at all that the Nuclear Threat Initiative, which I did not know about until I saw this on Twitter, but they apparently did a protocol, a supposed simulated protocol, over a year ago, back in March of 2021. They did this supposed simulated protocol of a monkeypox outbreak on May 15th, 2022. That was the date that they set for this. So basically, I'll just read the quick executive summary of this protocol they went through. In March 2021, the Nuclear Threat Initiative partnered with the Munich Security Conference to conduct a tabletop exercise on reducing high-consequence biological threats. Conducted virtually, the exercise examined gaps in national and international biosecurity and pandemic preparedness architectures and explored opportunities to improve capabilities to prevent and respond to high consequence biological events. So basically, to cut to the chase about the exercise, they did this, whole exercise scenario. I don't know why this was something that they had to do, but apparently they thought it would help them better prepare for something like this, or they just wanted to put this out as, kind of preparing us for what could happen. So basically, cutting to the chase, we get down to this figure 1 scenario design summary. They have the attack on May 15th, 2022. On June 5th, 2022, so just 3 weeks later, they have the move 1, a scenario where monkeypox outbreak in the Britannia, which was the fake name of the nation in which it broke out in. It is now at 1,421 cases and 4 deaths. No international warnings or advisories have been put out yet. And they also have key issues in all of these moves, these supposed just mock-up moves that they put out there. So key issues are international alert and warning systems and benefits of and need for early risk assessment. So you continue down, basically it continually gets worse and worse. 83 countries affected, 70 million cases, through 1.3 million deaths. So they do have a very high mortality rate in their simulation. And it's engineered to be vaccine resistant. Apparently national responses, effects in early action, and there's international supply chain challenges, or a disaster, you could say. I don't think challenges is a good word for it if you're actually having a pandemic this severe. But basically, what I'm pointing out is it doesn't help that this was put out over a year ago, and now basically to a T, May 15th, we started hearing about monkeypox for the first time in the media, even though it's not a new disease in any way. The media just started hammering it down like nobody's business. So I hope that I am completely wrong on this, but I do see that unfortunately the resemblance between the early COVID outbreak and monkeypox is very, very close. So what am I saying? I'm saying that the Fed, especially in the US, and also all the central banks around the world, need a massive excuse to continue trying to prop up these failed fiat monetary systems that are about to implode. Europe has an okay excuse right now with Russia and Ukraine. The US really does not have a good excuse. That's why Powell is having to be so hawkish in his statements, not necessarily with what he's actually doing, but in his statements he's having to be so hawkish. That's harming asset prices immensely. Already trillions in value have been wiped off of all these different markets, starting with the most speculative. So people obviously do not like having their wealth, even if it's imaginary sort of paper wealth in the crypto markets, they don't like it disappearing just in a matter of months. If this were to continue, like it actually would if the Fed were to have to follow through with tightening and everything, it would lead to a complete collapse in the system as we know it, because the Fed is completely trapped. We all, if you're watching this video, you probably know that the Fed is completely trapped. They have no way out of this. No central bank throughout any point in history has reversed easy money. Essentially, easy money has always continued until money becomes as valuable as paper that goes into your shredder. So money always, the fiat money always equals the value of 0 over a long period of time. So basically what I'm saying is the monkeypox could provide a perfect excuse for the Fed to continue along this exponential curve that they've been trying to keep up with. COVID gave them a perfect excuse. Now that's dying off. This might be the next thing that they try to use. So all of this being said, I really do hope I'm completely 100% wrong with this video. But let me know what you guys think down in the comments section below about monkeypox, why the entire internet is going ape with this right now. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments section below. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you didn't like it, give it a thumbs down. Let me know why. And if you like this video, just consider subscribing to this channel. And I hope to see you guys again at some point.